What's up, everybody? DJ Alan here. We're here with the EC podcast, Entre Compas.
You're here with Heck, aka Whiskey Brown.
And Mark.
Mark. I love that name.
Same.
Mark
I
Anthony.
hate my name. Mark Anthony.
Mark
I
Antonio.
like that name.
Whiskey Brown, baby. Take a sip.
So, welcome to this is gonna be our first. Welcome to the Entre Compas podcast. This is gonna be our first official episode that we're publishing. We have a bunch of topics tonight. Let's get right into those topics.
Well, first of all, I'd like to just state the stage. In no way here do we claim to be perfect. Everything we talk about is just our perspective on stuff, on what we cover. And so yeah, this is just a couple friends talking about stuff that's going on in the world, in our community, growing up Hispanic in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
But not just covering topics in the Northwest, covering topics pretty much going on all over the world, but mainly in the U.S. because we live in the U.S. and we want to show our perspective on Mexican American or just Hispanics in growing up in the U.S. So things that are going on right now is President Trump just took office. He became the 47th president. Just everything that's been going on since January 20th. And yeah, so we'll get into some of those topics right now.
Okay, and like how Mark was saying, we're going to talk about many different topics. You know, we're going to talk about sports, just from A to Z. We're going to be talking about in this podcast. It's got sometimes it's going to be funny, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more serious. I know my colleagues here on the podcast, we're just ready to have a good time and talk about some of the experiences that we have, some of the experiences that other people have had, and just kind of have a chat. Pretty much like a chat room.
Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions, future podcasts, any topics you'd like us to cover, just hit up DJ Alan. We'll talk about that later at the end, how you can contact him and us and see what you guys want us to cover too.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's important. Like and subscribe. Obviously on Spotify and Apple Music, you're not going to be able to do that, but just...
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Coming soon, baby.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yes,
Or MP3 platform near you.
A
streaming service near
Aquí
you.
estamos entre compas.
Yeah, Entre Compas, EC podcast. Let's get started with this.
President Trump took office January 20th, which is ironic, MLK Day, but so right away, he signed some executive orders. He signed a bunch. Right now, the ones we really want to focus on is the first 5 that I heard. That's mainly affecting us as Hispanics a lot. A lot of other ethnicities, but us as well.
Mainly Hispanics.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Come on.
So
There's an agenda and we see it.
It's there.
So the first one, he is sending. He's declaring a national emergency on the southern border. So he's sending troops that way. I just want to state he already did this. I think like 2017, 2018, he had already done this. Then Joe Biden stopped, and now Trump is bringing that back. From what I know, the troops can't really do anything.
Yeah, that's true because it's part of the Geneva Convention. Because if they touch Mexico's people, then it's kind of an act of war.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they can do is when it comes to child endangerment and drug trafficking.
Yeah. Yep.
Which isn't really happening unless you're talking about the children being taken away from their parents when they're getting there. So it's questionable, why you have. It's pretty much a power move. It's to show like, I'm here to do this and and I got backup. But technically they can't really touch anybody because again, if they do, it's kind of an act of war and there's rules to war and you're not supposed to do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different rules established by, other heads of government and everything that just states that you can't just freaking touch somebody.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but you just can't.
No. Yeah, and that's correct.
The second one is remain in Mexico policy. So he wants to, keep Mexican citizens in Mexico, which, I mean, let's be honest. Mexican citizens come over here, a large majority come over here to work. I know a lot of times he states that we're criminals and we're coming over here to do illegal activities and stuff, which does happen, but that's not the majority.
No.
Maybe for one in every, I don't know, 1,000 or tens of thousands of people.
Which the world operates on the majority and not the minority.
Right.
So,
but for some reason, he wants to
focus on the minority.
And
it's a fact that not all illegal immigrants commit the crimes that are being accused of. But the ones that are, they are being detained and they are being shipped back. But right now, it doesn't seem like they're going after that. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen that physically to where families are being torn apart or elderly or people are being harassed. I physically haven't seen that. Now, is that happening? Maybe, or is it not? I don't know. I can't really speak on that.
It might not be happening here in Washington currently because we are a blue state, but maybe it's on its way.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's happening now. Obviously, everybody posts on stuff on social media, pictures of this. We saw this truck here. We saw this truck here. I did see a post of somebody saying that they were in either Yakima area, Toppenish. Toppenish area on some of the posts. But physically here in Walla Walla and Milton Freewater, we have not seen it.
We haven't.
And nobody's had proof of them being, like, they don't have actual physical proof of that. But I go back to the statement of the criminals, illegal criminals and illegal people that come here to work.
Yep.
It was 95 to 5%. Like, that's what it was on the crime. One of the studies I saw, that 5% are committing violent crimes. But the 95% are not. And I feel like if they are targeting people that haven't committed serious crimes, me personally, I think that's wrong.
Yep. I agree.
I did see a study, the Press White House, they said that 500 and I think it was 500 something were non-violent, like did not have any other crime but being in the country illegally. And the other 500 and something on their operation this last weekend, they did have some serious crimes.
Yeah.
So them rounding up the ones that didn't have very serious crimes, that's alarming because they could pretty much just pick up anybody. I mean, going to what the president said, that they're only targeting their number one priority is violent criminals with heinous acts. There's no truth in that because now we see that half of them were non-violent criminals. That's the only crime they had is being here in the country illegally.
Yep.
That's it.
Which is a misdemeanor, by the way. It's not a felony. Crossing the border illegally is a misdemeanor. It's really not that big of a charge. It's like fucking jaywalking or some other bull crap that you're gonna get.
Well, see, his overall goal, which is crazy, is to detain and deport 4% of not Americans, but of the population of the United States.
Yep.
Which is a huge amount. If you think about how much, the population of the United States is, and he wants to detain and deport 4%, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
See, and what's unfortunate is, let's say parents came over here with their kid, and so they're all immigrants, and their children have now grown up and committed a violent act. They go look for them, and then in that case, they get their parents too, unfortunately.
Yeah, they find the whole family in the house.
Whole family.
And that's
that could be
something
critical collateral damage.
Yep,
collateral damage.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case in every family, but that is happening as well. And
I feel like every case is different.
Right.
A lot of people say like, yeah, we're coming here to work and stuff, but they don't care. I mean,
no,
ICE is not going to care.
Nope.
they don't care what you have to say. They're there to take whoever they're gonna get, and if they find people that
Are there?
are there, they're gonna take them too. Like
Mhm.
that's what they're there for. Like that's what ICE is made for, which is crazy because they probably don't even know the person that they're taking. They probably don't even know their name until they get to wherever they're gonna go, and then they're doing research on them. Then they find
Yes.
like, oh, he has another uncle that lives here. Let's go look for this guy.
Yep.
I feel like that's in a way that how it would technically work, and they do try to get information from the same family members on probably other family members, and I think that's super horrible, honestly.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Very
It's
unfortunate.
very unfortunate in my
It's
eyes.
spreading a lot of
Yeah.
fear, and there's a lot of people that are
That don't even want to go to
that
work.
don't even, that maybe they were brought here as kids or whatever, and they've put in their time, and they've done what they need to do. They've gotten married, they have kids, but now it's like what do I do?
And the thing is that this leads me to DACA in a way.
Mm-hmm.
The students or the young people that are on DACA, they disclose their address.
Yeah.
You know, Immigration's Customs Enforcement knows their address because they file their application and they file all of this. You know, ICE could just download that database and be like, ooh, like, okay, they're on DACA.
Yep.
Who else lives in that house?
Yeah. Who else you
That
got
is
in
not
there?
on DACA, you
Yep.
know? And I think that's what spreads a lot of fear in a lot of people's minds, because a lot of families, because they have DACA recipients, but they're also scared for their family members because they know the address.
Yeah.
They know their address.
And you just know, it's like with law enforcement, you want to be able to trust them, but you can't, because
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard because you've seen that they can lie, but you can't. It's always their word against yours, which has more value to what you got to say or who you are, you know? So it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe in them. And as a person, as an American, or as being in America, fuck being a citizen, whatever. Being in America, you got rights, and you should know your rights, and you should know, like, you don't have to open the door. You should remain silent, because that is huge. You know what I mean? You know, there's stuff going around telling people how to deal with ICE or with law enforcement that are trying to, get people to come
Just
or
terrorize, yeah.
terrorize. Yeah. And, I think you have a card right there that probably tells you a couple things of what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, my daughter actually gave this to me. She said she got it at her college. It's called it's www.ilrc.org/red cards.
Mm-hmm.
And these red cards, they kind of teach you, it pretty much says to give these to whoever's asking. You don't have to ask any, don't have to answer any questions. I'll read the first one here. I do not wish to speak with you, answer any questions, or sign or hand you any documents based on my Fifth Amendment rights under the United States Constitution.
Yep.
And with that being said, a lot of people in the government, in this administration, think that that Fifth Amendment right doesn't apply to illegal
because
immigrants.
they came here
Because they are illegal.
and
You're not American.
You're not
Like,
American. You're a criminal.
That's how they see it
Yeah.
in this administration.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. But
it's sad that, and the thing, like, for them to how they justify it is they won't even put, like, they won't humanize it. They'll say illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, to make them seem unhuman. But what they're doing is unhuman. What they're doing is fucked up, because if it was their ancestors with the Native Americans, they wouldn't be here. Us as mestizos, because before we were Mexicans, we were Native Americans, mestizos, Aztecs. We were born in the northern part of the hemisphere, from the whole half of United States all the way to what? almost like Brazil. You know, that was all Native American, Mexican, or mestizos, Aztecs, Incans. Like that all belonged to
Mayans.
us. Mayans.
Yeah.
That all belonged to us.
Yeah, and I feel I saw a report, not a report, but it was like a little, you know, when you're a little reel
Yeah.
on Instagram, where one of the people, they were arguing with another news, so it was a news person against a news person. Well, I guess an anchor against an anchor,
Good debate.
and they do a little debate section on their show, and she said, "Well, why don't you come to the country legally?" He's like, "I mean, why don't you come to the country legally?" And the rebuttal of the other anchor was like, "Well, why didn't you guys come to the country legally? Your ancestors came from Europe."
Yeah, pilgrims.
Yeah, and you think the Native Americans or whoever was here at that time told you, "Hey, do it the right way"?
Yeah.
Like they didn't tell you that.
No.
I was like, you just came and stole their land,
Yeah.
and did that.
Yep.
So, and then the other person was getting heated because she was like, but no, they have to do it the right way. He's like, but did your ancestors do it the right way?
Yeah.
I was like, you're kind of focusing on just one side of the issue because you already here and you already have this status,
This narrative.
that it should be. He's like, and he even said, he's like, Mexico owned almost half of the United States, and now and it was stolen from them.
Yep. They were lied to.
Yeah, they were lied to, and now you're sitting here acting like you just owned it the whole time,
Well,
which is crazy.
So going back to
Our topics.
we're at number 3.
so going back to DACA, it's unfortunate that some of these young people that came here when they were super young,
Yep.
and then Obama granted them this the deferred action for children arrivals. It has been in 2021, a federal district court judge ruled DACA was unlawful. In 2022, the Fifth Court Circuit of Appeals also affirmed that DACA was unlawful. And in 2023, a federal district court in Texas ruled that codified form of DACA was unlawful. So it's currently in limbo what's going to happen with DACA. I know that if you already had DACA, you can still renew your status. But anybody, you can no longer apply for DACA anymore. And lots of people don't know what's going to happen with the DACA program. And what happens if it is ruled unlawful? What's going to happen with all the people? Because like Alan said, they have all that information.
Yeah, they have your information.
What's going to happen with all those people?
Because you wouldn't have gotten that application approved in the first place.
Yeah.
If you didn't give that information.
I'm also reading that he's not only is he planning. There's some states that are planning to make this like a 10-year. Once they catch, if they say you're an illegal immigrant, they catch you. They're planning on holding you for 10 years or plus in prison,
which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Well, Trump is opening up Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay.
Specifically
30,000
yeah.
illegal
And
immigrants.
That's equivalent to slavery.
And he claims
That's equivalent to what Hitler did to the
he
Jews.
claims it's for the most vicious illegal immigrants.
most violent.
But
come
let's
on.
be honest.
I mean,
He's going to fill that
when they
sucker
don't
up.
meet their quota like they did this last
Right.
weekend.
Yeah.
It's all about quota.
It's all about quotas.
That's what I'm saying. His plan is to detain and deport 4%. He's going to do his best to meet that quota, however possible.
Also, bounty hunters have been
in
asked
certain states.
In certain states, have been asked to go after
To look
illegal
for
immigrants.
them, yeah.
They're getting
For $1,000.
per person.
$1,000.
I'm kidding.
That's crazy.
Pause.
Somebody's life is worth $1,000.
$1,000. I could go to Wild Horse right now and make $1,000, guys.
I believe it. I seen it.
But the thing is that it's so hard. I mean, for me, it's so hard to take this guy serious because, well, let me go back to that. I do take him serious because he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to look like a loser.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do everything in his power to accomplish this, to accomplish all this mass deportation that he's talking about. and that's going to affect a lot of families.
Yep.
A lot of families personally haven't contacted me, but they've contacted other people I know that they're scared.
Yeah.
That they're just scared.
Yeah. And I mean, you should be afraid. You can't, like,
And I feel like not just illegal immigrants, but just Hispanics in general.
Yeah.
And other maybe other
Hispanics, Latinos,
Chicanos.
Chicanos. We're Chicanos because our parents were Mexicans, came here, and we were born in the United States. That's the key.
Yeah.
Chicanos, like, even they're threatening to fucking, they're calling us anchor babies.
Yeah.
And someone like me that was born in the United States, like, all my whole lifehood is here. Like, you calling me an anchor baby? Bitch, I'm more American than you.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, so with that, he claims that he wants to catch the most violent illegal immigrants and either hold them in jail or, depending on the crime they committed, or detain and deport them. So he's ending what was called catch and release, or they call it catch and release. So what was happening was, if you committed a crime and you weren't a legal status citizen here, they would release you until pending your court date. Because like Hector was saying earlier, not everybody that is getting accused of these crimes are guilty. But now he's ending that. He's gonna hold you until either your court date, or depending on the crime you committed, he will deport you.
And that's with no bail.
Yeah,
no bail set.
No,
Yeah.
nothing at all.
Nothing.
Which leads me to the first official bill he signed. He just signed it, I think, yesterday. It's called the Lake and Riley Act. So pretty much what that is it requires the Department of Homeland Security to detain certain non-U.S. nationals who have been arrested for burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting that led to a death. They're just gonna detain you, and they're pretty much gonna deport you now. Also, with this bill, it authorizes states to sue the federal government for decisions or alleged failures related to immigrant enforcement. So the states can now sue the federal government. So yeah, you guys haven't looked this up, look it up. It's called the Lake and Riley Act. Lake and Riley was a young lady who was murdered by a Venezuelan. According to Trump, he was arrested 3 times and released 3 times.
Yep.
And that's what led to him murdering this young girl that was a student, I believe, at the University of Georgia. And so that's why he passed this bill, his first official bill.
And there's so many more stories that I've heard too of, crimes committed against other people. It breaks your heart to hear these crimes, but at the same time, other Americans do it to other Americans too.
Yep.
So we can't. It's a tragedy what happened to Miss Riley. It really is. But you've seen a lot. There's so many crimes that are committed on other Americans, and for them just to kind of use that, like I said, the world operates on majority, but they want to focus on the minority, which are just these small crimes. I'm not saying that these people don't matter. They really do matter, and it's a tragedy what happened to her, and I wish it never did. But again, I'm going to go back to that statistic. Not all illegal immigrants are actually committed the crimes that they're being accused of. So they're always trying to demonize an illegal immigrant or a Mexican American. They all put us in one thing, and that's just wrong. It's wrong what they're doing. They know it, we know it, and that's why they can't humanize what they're doing, and they'll just say, "Oh, illegal immigrant, illegal alien." That's why they put a little name to it, because they know it's wrong, and they dehumanize all this stuff.
And then they, like Alan was saying, they'll say, "Oh, you should have came here the right way." You know how many students do come the right way, and then they end up staying past their visa? When their visa expires, they end up just staying here because they made a life here, or they don't want to go back to where they're from.
Because it's horrible.
which is the H-1B visa, correct?
No, it's the F1 visa.
F-1 visa. Okay.
The H-1B visa is for workers, which is also abused a lot of times as well.
yeah.
But they want to. You don't hear about these cases. No, they want to focus on the southern border.
Yeah.
They want to focus on DACA. They want to focus on us.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Let's be honest.
When a large majority of our immigration problem is also people that are passing past their visas, and to get those visas is pretty hard. It's not easy. Like there's not a lot of Mexicans that can get those visas. I've had lots of family members try time after time after time after time, and they get rejected so much.
And I've heard there's like a 10-year penalty too. Like if something like that, like if you overstay or if you don't do the right process
And you come.
and then let's say you do the right process, they give you a 10-year penalty. You have to go back to your country for 10 years and then you're eligible to come. So that to me is
maybe
maybe yeah.
Yeah, you might be eligible.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And that right there is just like
It's crazy.
people do have done it the right way. They do it the right way, but it's not going to matter to anybody because there's a stigma about people that come from south of the border that they're just here to take our jobs or bring drugs in or they're trafficking. But let's be honest, it's the 1% that loves the drugs. If it wasn't for Mexico,
Get
So
it,
that
boy.
leads me to point number 4 is Trump wants to designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
how do you know? So he's
I mean, how's he gonna pick and choose? Yeah.
How's he gonna
How's he-
classify? Is he going after? Because you say cartels, most of the cartels are in Mexico, or
Yeah.
I mean, they do. Yes, they operate in America, but most of them are in Mexico. So I wonder how he's gonna do that part.
Right. So, which leads me to, I'll talk about it a little bit more after
sure.
this, but the president of Mexico, Baum, she responded to these 5 things that I'm
I like
stating
her
out
name.
here. Baum.
I like her name. I like her
Which
too.
then it's
You know,
point number 5. He's invoking the Aliens Enemies Act of 1798, which he wants to eliminate gangs and foreign networks in the U.S.
So you think that also is the KKK?
No, it says foreign networks.
So domestic ones are fine.
So pretty much MS-13.
MS-13 and maybe like gangs, like like Hispanic gangs.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Because
Middle Eastern gang.
Middle
or
East-
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if they don't really have gangs,
Right.
but they can have like
Yeah.
organizations.
Because like in the Chicano movement in Los Angeles, most of the gangs were from the United States, other than MS-13, which are Salvadorian. So I'm curious to know how he's going to
Right.
classify
Yeah.
that, because technically every gang that has started was in America, and the reason why they started the gangs was to protect their neighborhoods from, which was in the Jim Crow era, which everybody was all the white people were racist at that time,
Mhm.
and they were protecting their neighborhoods from the cops. That's why gangs started. So
Most of the people. were
most of the
racist.
people, yeah. But
Yeah.
then that's how it started.
Yeah.
There was rules and there was respect, but now it's the gang life is totally different. That's a whole nother conversation. So I'm curious to know like how he's going
How
to
he's gonna
classify
that.
because like
yeah.
I said, and if he says, "Oh, well, any gang," well, guess what? There's so many gangs. So are you going after Hell's Angels? Are you going after,
the January 6th, right?
yeah, no, seriously. Like how do you
I mean, he pardoned all of them.
Yeah, how do you
Parted a large amount of them. Yeah.
1,500, 1,600 of them?
one
Yep.
of them was killed in a traffic stop
Yeah.
by an off-duty officer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you classify?
And 3 of them, 3 others were caught with child pornography and rape and stuff like that.
You
Like
know?
other charges that they're facing now.
Mhm.
So it's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Like, you just want to get illegal criminals out. I mean, which I'm all for, but hardworking people, why, man?
That's
Why?
wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And you say we're taking your jobs. What jobs? You guys don't want the jobs.
Yeah.
That's why unions started, because you guys were overworked.
Talking about unions,
Uh-huh.
one of the unions, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's ASEC something. I'll get the name of it,
Mhm.
but they're suing the federal government.
Yeah.
They just filed a lawsuit
Wow.
on on some of the executive orders that Trump
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Because it does mess up with the union.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why the union was started, because people were being overworked and they weren't being paid enough.
Yep.
So we're just gonna end up going back to that. If let's say you end up not wanting to hire people that are south of the border because you say I don't want to hire anybody that's illegal, but at the end of the day, those are the people taking the jobs that nobody wants.
Yeah.
And some people do have citizenships that take those jobs anyways, you know? Ain't nobody gonna pick apples or onions out in the sun and all day and then get paid by by how much apples you're putting in a bucket or in a box. Like,
In a bin.
They're not gonna in a bin.
They
They're
pay
not
you
gonna
by
do
bin.
that. They're not gonna
My
do
bin, yeah.
Yeah, they pay you by the bin.
that. Yeah.
I saw this guy doing oranges. I don't know if you saw this, the same one. He did 2.5 bins, but they only counted 2 bins that day. And he's like, in 10 hours, I made $2.50
Per hour.
per hour
Right.
for those 10 hours that I worked. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't think we're taking anybody's jobs
Oh
because
no.
tomorrow I'm not coming back. That's what he said on
Yeah.
the reel.
And
He's like, I can't do this.
And
It's
let's,
crazy.
Yeah, and let's be honest. What you gonna do? You're gonna get robots to do it. You're gonna get AI to do it. It's not gonna happen because they don't have the kind of finger pressure to know what the ripe is. They're not gonna. We're not there yet. Pretty much.
Not yet.
We're not there yet.
They're not gonna know what's
It-
rotten,
they're not
what's
go-
good,
yeah,
what's ready to eat.
We're just not there yet for you to think that you're gonna have AI come do the jobs of what people do. We're just not there yet.
yeah. Plus, I heard China's killing us on AI.
Probably.
That's another topic, but
AI is crazy.
yeah.
What Elon Musk is doing.
I actually used Chat GDP, GDT, or whatever it's called.
GDT. Shout out.
That saved my life today in the
I've
office.
I've used it too. I've used
I
it too
know I did.
for workouts and
Yeah.
like meal prep. You could also, going off subject, you can also ask for a grocery list. You can make a budget grocery list, and bam, it'll spew it out.
I know. I was
That's-
surprised. I was looking at today. I mean, this is off topic, but today I was doing a report because I needed some expectations for some of my student workers.
Yeah.
And and it just, I was like, why didn't I do this since Monday?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm over here brainstorming Monday through Thursday, and Thursday my boss is like, yeah, just use ChatGPT. I was like, what?
Even
I was like,
kids-
shut up. So I did it. When
even high
10
school,
minutes, I
high
had
school
that
kids
done.
are using these ChatGPT
Yeah.
for their like reports.
Yeah, a lot of professors don't like it though.
Yeah.
But a lot of professors do.
Yeah.
It says it
So-
makes education easier for them.
Well, call me biased, but after the 6th grade, what do you really learn that you're gonna use in the real world?
I mean, true. I mean, I got to high school and they said take math for 2 years, and then I didn't take math.
You're not gonna
after
really,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm talking about actual 6th grade, so you do have to know some like
Geometry.
geometry and stuff like
Geometry.
that.
For the most part, geometry.
Yeah,
Because
but-
geometry gives you, like what you actually use for like construction.
Yeah.
They use geometry. Like a lot of real blue collar jobs,
jobs.
use geometry.
Geometry, yeah.
So
But like calculus,
you don't do that. Like a lot of stuff you don't do. That's why like back in the day,
physics is probably good too.
yeah, and civics, they don't teach that.
Nope.
They don't want you to know the rule. They don't want you to know the Constitution, the laws, and how they were made. They don't want you to know that. Actually, and that Wahai, I think, you only take it as a senior, and you have to meet certain qualifications
In order to do that.
Well, that you talking about Wahai? When I was a sophomore, I took it was like American history,
Mm-hmm.
and we took a citizenship test.
Yeah.
And me and this other Mexican girl are the only ones that passed with an 82%, Everybody else failed that shit.
Of course.
And I don't want to seem cocky, but a lot of those questions that I answered, I guessed on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I still passed that fucking test. And I feel like a lot of those questions I knew.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that were in my class, almost 85% of the class failed the test.
Yeah. An average American
would
would fail that test.
Like Americans that were like, hey, go play soccer or something. Like, that's how they would talk,
Go
you know?
make me a burrito.
Go make me a burrito, fool.
Aquí tengo tu pinche burrito.
Show me that big monster.
Well, your average American doesn't really know how Congress works.
No.
Yeah.
They don't know how
They
many
don't
people
know how many
are
legislative
are in
branches
Congress.
are. Yeah.
How many senators there are, how many representatives there are.
Yeah. How the president can't just do what he wants. There's
How
certain
districts
things
are divided in your state.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them don't know that.
Yep.
Yeah. How
representatives.
states versus the federal government works.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
And I feel like a lot of that comes back to the same administration. Like, people that go to these rallies and that have gone to these rallies, a lot of them don't know what the fuck's going on.
No.
Like, they don't.
Which leads me to
They're just followers. You know what I mean?
which leads me to say, do your research on what's going on. Don't just watch TikTok
Yes.
and get your information from TikTok. Like, actually listen to what's going on. Do your research so that you really are informed. A lot of people just get on TikTok and like, oh, well, I heard it from TikTok. And
TikTok said this.
and that's not necessarily true. That it's just people saying what they heard from other people on TikTok, and it's like when you used to play the telephone game back in the day when we were little kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then people extend the truth and they keep going, and then the next person just extends the truth and it keeps going, and next thing you know, people are saying some crazy stuff.
Weird ass shit, yeah.
And let's be honest, what really sells in the news or in these applications is fear, is negative information, not really positive.
No. And that's how you control people.
Yep.
Is through fear.
Yep.
Through fear
Why you
and
think?
anger.
Why you think Trump took back TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's gonna sell it to the highest bidder, but he wants the United States to keep 50% of it, or else he is gonna take it down again. If the next buyer buys it and doesn't allow the U.S. government to keep 50% of it, he's just gonna take it down, and they're just gonna buy a useless application.
And
That's crazy.
I see that Meta's gonna buy that, which is Zuckerberg, correct?
Yep, Meta is Zuckerberg.
Which is crazy. You know, Zuckerberg didn't.
Well,
even
they're
like-
planning on buying.
Yeah, planning
Yeah.
on buying. Zuckerberg didn't even like Trump.
Not too long ago.
Like there's so many people on his office that didn't even like Donald Trump. JD Vance being one of them, which is his vice president. Now,
Yeah.
now he's licking on those nipples,
Yep.
which is crazy. But back then he
I
was
want to
like,
see that.
Yeah. But back then he was like,
I want to see that.
Hey,
just
you could probably get some AI
could probably do
application.
that.
to do
maybe
that.
an
You
AI
could probably do
application. Yeah.
but back then he wanted to kick him in the
ChatGPT.
balls. So it just doesn't.
It doesn't
make-
resonate. With,
No,
with
like
the agenda,
everything is not what he said he was gonna do. He's doing the complete opposite.
It's for example, like when they were doing the debates, all these people that were going against him, Marco Rubio,
Yep.
And now he's
who's
the-
that other idiot, Ted Cruz or
Ted
what the
Cruz.
fuck's his name? Yeah. But I just. I think I don't like his beard. Like when he has the
Ted
beard.
Cruz,
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. You know, you look and you just want to slap the shit.
Like you don't
slap
deserve
him.
that name Cruz, bro.
No,
You
no.
don't deserve that
No.
last name Cruz.
He has one of those.
You should change
hippie
it.
faces.
Yeah, and
You know.
and the thing is that when they were debating, the crazy thing is that they were just talking trash to
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
That's
And
what, that's what debates.
now
is
that
all
he's
about.
the president, he's like, I am with President Trump.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're just sucking on the
Yeah.
sack.
Well, that's honestly that's how how people in
government,
America work. Like if you see, I'll take it to football. All of a sudden, we're all Chiefs fans. You know what I'm saying? I'll even take it
Or
further.
back in 2012.
I just want to do it. I just want to bet.
2012 when everybody became
Seahawks?
Seahawks fans.
Like a lot of people are bandwagoners. A lot
Hey,
of people they jump on that winning bandwagon because it's easy to be a winner.
I
but
became a Seahawks fan when the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
yeah, I believe that.
Because all my friends in high school were Seahawks
Yeah.
fans.
And I became a unfan because everybody was jumping on that
I used to be
bandwagon.
I used to be a Packers fan.
You should have stuck with the Packers.
I used to be a Packers fan when you should see me in my pictures at Central
believe it.
at Central Middle School. I had this big ass jacket. It was irreversible.
It was a starter one, huh?
No. It was I got it at Finger Hut.
Damn.
Fingerhut.com.
Finger.
Well, Finger Hut magazine because the .com wasn't
Yep.
working.
Nope.
But I remember my mom ordered it. She's like, te compré una chamarra. And I was like, the Green Bay Packers. And my friend would always wear, in elementary school, he would always wear a number 4 Brett Favre jersey. And me and him were like best friends.
Yeah.
His name's David. Shout out if he's listening.
David?
But David.
David.
David Smith, I think it was the last name. But I mean, dude, and it's like, basic white name. But
Hey, but you grew up in Milton Freewater. You were in Milton Freewater? at the
yeah, I
time?
was over in Ferndale,
Hey,
Ferndale
At the end of the
Elementary.
day, at the end of the day, we know there's nothing but a bunch of hillbillies in Milton Freewater.
Ferndalians. We were called Ferndalians.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where it started. My love for the Green Bay Packers.
I'm also from Milton Freewater, just by the way, so I can say that. I can say there's hillbillies.
I was,
there.
and
I will gladly say
and then
that.
I came back to Wawa. But
Gladly say that.
yeehaw,
So going back to
the Hector kid.
Hector, is he there?
Hector, is he there?
Go get Junior. Because
I'll tell his daddy to come
Because my
out
dad's Hector. So so at work that to
And your dad used to be
separate us.
My name's John Lawson. I need him to
Junior.
pick apples today.
your dad used to be a Denver fan. I remember he used to wear a Denver jacket.
For real?
Yeah,
He's a huge
Broncos.
Patriots fan.
Now he
Maybe
is.
he just wore it to
He's
wear it,
Patriots
bro.
fan because they have the same colors as Chivas.
Oh
So
yeah, makes sense.
I've always known him to be a Patriots fan. He's a huge Patriots fan. He's like Tom Brady, my friend.
Shout out Tom Brady.
Shout out Tom Brady, the
Fucking
greatest.
Deflategate asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that was a little bit off topic,
Off
but
topic,
let's
sorry
go
about
back
that.
to
Let's
our
go back
topics
to
for
our-
today.
That's what we're about.
To our
Yeah. So going back to the Mexican president responding back to Trump on these executive orders.
She's good looking. I just want to put that out there. Go.
I had my doubts, but wow, she changed my mind.
Bro, she looks good.
Well,
No. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
no,
I
we're not talking about her look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me,
I
I'm
know
not-
we're not.
If she don't got no ass, she ain't got nothing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
know she's
I'm
an
an
old
ass
lady,
man too. I'm an ass man. I do that.
but she's doing big things. Like,
She is.
like
I
I'm
mean, it's-
really
it's-
surprised.
It's easier when you were left with a good. She was left pretty good. The president before her did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
But she's continuing with that, and
I think she's even gonna continue with the better.
Oh,
than
yeah.
the last president.
she has a big visions.
Yeah.
I was listening to. She is encouraging young Mexicans. They're creating a vehicle to compete with Tesla, which is crazy because Tesla is opening up a huge manufacturer in Mexico. But she is encouraging the youth with that vehicle that's going to compete against. I think German engineers are not German. Chinese engineers are also helping on that. So China wants a stake in Mexico too. They see huge potential there.
Yeah.
Is it true that Mexico is possibly joining the BRICS?
No, not yeah. They are joining. What was it called?
Not BRICS anymore.
No, it's Germany. No, it's not Germany. Britain, Brazil,
Russia.
India, China,
Russia.
and Russia.
Russia.
And they want Mexico to join.
Yep.
And as you know, those are some huge countries that their economies are huge.
Which is crazy because most of those kind of surround the United States.
Well, a lot of those.
A lot of them, and with BRICS starting, that made the U.S. dollar less popular, I believe.
Well,
In
one of
value, correct?
one of their main goals is to take down the U.S. dollar.
Yeah,
So, oh yeah, they're called BRICS.
BRICS.
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yep.
So they want to take down the U.S. dollar.
Yep.
So, and I know Mexico joining them is
That's huge.
and
It's booming.
and
Business is booming.
Business booming.
Trump wants to tariff Canada and Mexico. He says that a lot of the drugs are coming from Canada and Mexico, which when he said Canada, that surprised me. I didn't know. You know he blames Mexico, but I didn't know he was blaming Canada too.
Well, the Canadian border is just as worse as the southern border.
Right.
But people don't talk about that.
No.
Because when you think of Canadians, you think of a friendly person.
Yep, that's what they're known for.
Yeah. They ain't going to talk about that, the border on Canada, which is letting in Haitians that are eating the dogs,
Well,
eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
It's me.
in 2023, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates joined BRICS.
Yep.
And just alone with the United Arab Emirates,
Ugh, I want to go to Dubai.
that's
so bad.
huge.
That's my dream. I want to go to Dubai.
You know, a lot of people don't even know Dubai is a city and not a country.
I just want to go ride in a Bugatti into the
Bugatti.
sunset.
Um,
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
you still want to go to Bora Bora? Is that still a dream spot of yours? Or
I mean, I have a lot of places I want to travel to. Thailand being one of them.
Thailand for
'Cause
sure.
I heard Thailand's legit.
I heard it's
Because our dollar goes so long
Yeah.
in China.
because
I mean, in Thailand.
Thailand, but the only thing that's expensive is getting there.
Yep,
that's
getting there.
it.
Getting there.
That's the most expensive thing that you're gonna pay for. Is
And the
getting there.
time. It
And the
takes
time
forever
it
to
takes
get
like
there.
what,
Yeah.
17 hours,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, that's actually a pretty good topic for an episode.
Mhm.
I like that.
Did you also hear that Fox is doing ride-alongs with ICE, and they're going live as they're doing that?
Of course, because that sells.
Yeah.
They want
They
more
want to
viewers.
It's like what is that? Live TV? Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know, like, a lot of these major companies like Fox, CNN, and that, they're losing viewers, like, so much viewers. People are no longer watching
Yeah.
those big corporations anymore,
That's
and,
true.
and it's hurting them.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of people don't trust the news anymore.
No, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are getting their news from X
Mm-hmm.
or from other
Mhm.
social media resources
Or from podcasts?
or
Yeah.
from podcasts.
Yep,
Yeah.
social media, podcasts, which is why we're doing
What we're doing
right now.
informing. And Trump's also put quotas on arrests for illegal immigrants, which is
Yeah,
that's just gonna amp up, some people, because some individuals, they're gonna see that and they're like, well, I'm just gonna arrest whoever I want. He looks illegal. They look illegal to me.
Well, are you talking
Let
about
me
like
go-
a citizen's arrest?
Not citizens, but just like the ICE coming to wherever, and like we said, there's some people that are being used like for collateral damage. Like,
Oh shit.
you don't have your papers, so.
Okay,
at the
so
end of
you're saying like an ICE agent? Hell yeah, jackpot! There's
Yeah,
5 people in
there's
this fucking
5 people.
house.
I gotta
$5,000 extra
I
on
gotta
my
make
check.
my quota, or else I
Yeah.
lose my job, which is weird.
That's
Because
horrible.
how is it that they're able to find people, but they can't even find missing kids?
I saw a poster with that
How?
on it. I like that.
How is that?
Yeah, that's that's
how
crazy.
Come we can't do that?
How could you not find a missing person, but you can find all these
But all these illegal
people that are not even
criminals,
registered in
yeah.
the system?
criminal and
How?
all that stuff.
How?
they
That's
don't
a
want
good
to find
question.
them.
They don't. They know where they're at.
Yeah,
They know where they're at.
there are some good things that Trump's doing, which is hard to say, because I don't think any one of us is really a Trump supporter here.
FTP. I don't like
Not a Trump supporter,
FTP.
but I will dive into what Republicans say. I will dive into
You
what
have to. You have to know.
what Democrats say.
You have to be informed.
I'm unbiased, and that's why I didn't vote this year. I didn't vote this year because none of the candidates had my vote. They didn't have what I wanted in a president. So, because I did my research, I looked into what Donald Trump's policy was. I looked into what Kamala Harris policies. You know, none of them captured my attention, and
None of them resonated
to
with
what I
you want to
wanted
do
as a president. So, am I wrong for that? No.
And just to let everybody know and have everybody be aware, everybody that's listening to us, this is not just going to be about politics. This podcast, it's going to be about everything. This is just some of the big topics that are happening now.
Yeah, big topics that are happening now, especially with us. You know, just trying to inform people, just trying to help not spread fear, but also to help you understand what's kind of going on.
And also, with that being said, you know, we're not leaning more Republican or more Democrat or liberal. We're honestly neutral. We're just stating facts and stuff that we have heard, either through our own research or something that has been shown to us. You know, if you are a Trump supporter, you're a Trump supporter. If you're another administration's supporter, you know,
that's kind of the beauty of it's crazy. It's kind of the beauty of America is we could agree to disagree, and that's kind of how it used to be. Like we used to be able to talk about things and not try to blow each other's head off. But nowadays, just people just take it way too serious. Yeah, way too serious.
So one of the things that he did, one of the executive orders he did do is he wants to end censorship on every platform. Not necessarily that type of censorship, but I know. Just giving us the freedom of speech. Because I agree with that. You, like Hector was saying, you should be informed with the Republicans. You should be informed with the Democrats. And that's basically what gives us the right to even do this podcast and say whatever is on our mind and not be worried about ramifications of what we are saying. Obviously, we're not going to say we're not plotting against killing the president and any of that. Like that, obviously, is not smart. No. But we're able to say what we want to say.
Yeah, don't do that
without worrying about. There are countries where even if you say if you go against the president, they go and look for you right away.
Yeah.
And in this country, we're able to say what we want to say and not have to worry about those consequences.
You know, and there's some stuff that Trump, like you said, Trump has been doing good. For example, I posted something on my Facebook the other day about groceries. What's up, man? It's been 10 days and stuff's the same. Like somebody posted a message on there. I'm not going to say any names, but somebody posted a message on that post and said, well, what about the last administration? What did they do to lower eggs? I was like, and then I responded, I believe that wasn't a promise of the prior administration. It's the promise of this administration, and this is this administration that we're in. Not because I feel some sort of way towards Trump or whatever, but if he could lower the prices of groceries and gas, I would be thankful.
Yeah. I think his administration already came out and said that that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
There's basically
and I believe that from the start.
That
it's unrealistic.
So there's basically no way that he can lower. If anything, he can maintain the prices for a certain amount of time, but there's basically no way he can lower the prices that are already set.
Impossible.
Well, his plan is to establish the ERS, the External Revenue System. So with that, he wants to tariff countries and tax foreign countries, which sounds great, but a lot of people don't realize that what that actually means is
tariffs will fall under us. Correct?
That's just gonna cost. So if there's a tariff on an item, they're gonna charge the company that's importing those items, not the country. Wait, did I say that right? Sorry, let me explain it again. They are gonna tariff the companies that are bringing in those items, not the countries itself. So he did this back in his other presidency. He tariffed washer machines.
From General Electric?
General Electric,
right? Yeah.
He tariffed washer machines. So what happened is that did stop washer machines from coming in, and that did create certain jobs. But also that raised the prices of washer machines. Not only did it raise the prices of washer machines, it raised the prices of dryers.
Yeah.
Because when you're buying a new washing machine, most people are going to buy a dryer at the same time.
Why do you think I still have the same dryer and it's been here since 1994?
But those are the good ones.
I know.
Because those.
It's only broken down once.
Yeah, and they're easy to fix. But
Yeah.
nowadays, the new ones, they have these, they call motherboards, right? They have like pretty much motherboards in
A
them.
computer.
A computer, and if that fucks up, you're fucked.
Bro, I hate my washer. But I love my dryer.
Yeah. Is your washer new?
Yeah, it's my washer's like
It's-
a year old, and my wife is like, "This shit does not wash the clothes right." She's like, "I want the one with the little thing in the middle."
Oh, because you got the circle one now?
I was like, "I got something in the middle for you."
Pause. So
Okay, sorry,
I
Mike.
read that created so many jobs in the U.S., mainly in like Pennsylvania, Ohio, in that area over there, like General Electric, Whirlpool. There was another one,
Kenmore, I think.
but
Was it Kenmore? Yeah.
but for the average American like us, it raised the prices of those electronics, and now he wants to start doing that to a lot of different items in a lot of different countries. But he thinks that's gonna bring in more money, but in reality, that's just gonna cost the average American thousands of dollars.
So, for example, coming back to the tariffs, for example, he had a thing going on with, I guess, coming back to ICE, the topic of ICE.
Yeah.
He had a plane that was coming out of the United States going to Colombia.
Yep.
Colombia didn't let it
Nope.
land. He said, "Oh, we're gonna tariff you this much," and then Colombia agreed,
According to Trump.
That's like
according to him.
that's
yes.
like equivalent to a rich guy saying, "I'm gonna sue you for doing that."
"Oh no, don't sue me. I'll do
Yeah,
whatever you want."
I'll do whatever you want. It's like, man, get that shit out of here.
And according to him, Colombia not only allowed those immigrants to come back, but they sent their own plane to come pick them up because they didn't want to inconvenience the U.S. by sending a second trip.
Supposedly.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If there wasn't a picture, it didn't happen.
got him. They said I'm gonna put tariffs. I will. I'm the best ever been. It's me, Donald J. Trump.
What's crazy is this guy. This guy actually believes everything he says, and it can be pretty convincing.
Believe it.
It can be pretty convincing to a lot of people because he talks so confidently about what he's doing, that a lot of people do believe what he says.
It's like one of my friends when we went to Vegas picking up some ladies. This guy told him the story of his life, convinced him. He had 2 ladies all night. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Those speeches." I was like, pass along the lines.
No, he just talked himself up.
He talked
Trump
himself
does.
up, and
see,
he got what he
He
wanted.
painted a picture.
yeah,
He painted a huge canvas.
it works short term.
Short term.
Short term, it works
For that part.
But for the long run, who knows? Who knows what's really gonna happen from here to 4 years?
Oh yeah. It's not. It's a good. It's one of the many tactics that they use. That
Politicians
Politicians.
in general, not
Yeah.
just Trump, but just politicians. And in reality, no politician is gonna come save us.
Never. No.
It
No
does-
matter who it is.
They don't care about us.
And you know what's crazy? It's like you hear people be like, "Oh, I miss Bill Clinton." Bill Clinton has some of the highest deportation numbers.
Obama, people loved Obama.
Yeah, people loved Obama.
But if you really track his numbers, he had really high,
Really high,
deportation numbers.
And right now, it's fucked up fact, but Trump has the lowest right now.
As of right now.
Even I don't know what it was when he was president back in what year did he go?
What was it?
Not 20.
2016 to 2020.
Yeah. Even then, I don't think he had a higher I don't think he had higher
numbers than Obama.
than Obama or
Bill
Clinton,
Clinton.
and they were Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't put all your chips on the government. Like they're not here to help you
No.
at all.
It's like gambling.
Yeah. The money always goes back to the house, or the
Oh,
house
yeah.
always wins.
The house always wins.
House always
yes.
wins.
Oh yeah, they become richer.
Mm-hmm.
They always become richer than and we, little by little, our dollar goes less and less and less as the middle class or lower middle class.
Yeah. Well, they're saying with this that's happened, there is no middle class.
Soon
There is
there
no
will not
more
be.
middle class
Soon
because
there
of
will not be.
the stuff that we're not going to be able to afford. There's only going to be low class and high class, and that's it. Because of how
Rich and poor.
Yeah, rich and poor, because of how all the prices are boosted up. Like middle class is no longer going to be a thing.
I bought eggs for the first time. 5 dozen eggs. Well, 60 eggs. I guess 5 dozen eggs. For $27.99
Yep.
at Safeway.
Yep. You buy an 18 pack of eggs, it's like $8 at Walmart.
Like $8.99.
Yeah.
Unless you know somebody that has chickens, which I do, and that's how I've been getting my eggs.
That's awesome.
You know,
That's good.
At the end of the day, there's ways we can help each other, and there's ways we can help each other ourselves. Like, let's say you have a yard, right? Yeah. Most people when they have houses, they have yards. Why the hell do we have chunks of grass and not our own veggies?
I do.
And then you
You have your own. You have your own.
Yeah, the whole backyard.
Perfect.
Perfectly beautiful grass. We destroyed it
Yeah.
and turned it into a garden.
To a garden, and
Yeah.
that's what we should have. We should have our own gardens.
Yeah.
We should have our own food.
Yeah.
But we're somehow convinced that we need to have a luscious green piece of grass in our house.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't. All the water that we're wasting on grass, we can be putting it into our
A
own
lot
gardens.
of water gets wasted on fire.
Our own gardens,
and then
my
you get charged for
Yep.
that water.
For
you get-
grass, go to the parks.
yeah. Luckily, I've put myself in a position where I am on a 1/4 acre. I have well water. I don't have to pay water, so I get my own water.
That's
Nice.
badass.
And so I've put myself in that position because I don't, that's what I want to do. I want to make my own stuff. I want to make my own garden.
Do you do city sewage?
No, I have a septic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I'm out in the country, but I'm not, because I'm like down the street, from the school. So it's like I kind of get the best of both
You're
worlds.
one of those Melton Freewater hillbillies
I'm
that
one of those
came
Mount
over to
Freewater
Walla Walla
hillbillies that
County.
came up and came to Walla Walla.
Came to Walla Walla County to
Hey man,
mess things up
know what I
for
mean?
the
But
upper
that's
class.
just who I am. I've always, growing up, I know agriculture, I know irrigation, I know this stuff, so it's easy for me to put pipes and plants and what I want to do. Pipes meaning PVC pipes for water, people.
Lay down
Plants
the
meaning
pipe.
vegetables and
Not your
and
eggplant.
fruits.
Not the eggplant.
You know,
not
this
the eggplants in my pants.
this summer I told my wife
Pause.
that we be a little bit more organized than last summer. Last summer we got shit ton of zucchini, shit ton of tomatoes, like cucumbers, and that was awesome. But I was like, this year let's do a variety. Let's
Bigger.
do one,
Yeah.
and let's just do a lot of vegetables.
I have gotten invited to a birthday party, and we went to this man's house, and this man has no front yard. He has plants, planterns, but like big square ones in his front yard.
Oh, like raised beds.
raised
Yep.
beds, raised gardens. Man, this man has so many like just herbs, tomatoes, like anything you can think. You go to his backyard, it's the same thing, and it's like. And I was just checking out his irrigation, the way he set it up. I'm like, this is easy. I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
This is so easy.
See, going back to what Hector said, us helping each other. Alan, like if you knew people that like, hey, I got a bunch of zucchini, and then someone went up to you and was like, hey, I got a bunch of
Eggs.
Like let's
trade.
barter and
I
trade.
got a bunch of ass.
Which
Hey,
might,
Tráelo.
which might get to that
Entre
point.
compas.
It might get to that point where we do have to barter like that.
Yeah.
We do have to, and we should start thinking of.
Yeah, no. For me, it was
Yeah.
more of I did take it to my office, and students benefited from that. They benefited from from food that they
Made themselves.
maybe they can't afford to have fresh veggies, and they took advantage of me taking a bunch of zucchini in there, and they benefited from that, which was super awesome because I was like, I'd rather see it go to somebody than rot in my garden because I'm not gonna eat that much zucchini.
My daughter and my father-in-law, they did their own little garden in my backyard. She made like just from the summer herself, and she's only 11 years. At the time, she was like 9, 10. She made like $200 just getting her vegetables, bringing them to the front yard, and she would sit there and just sell it. And people would drive by and they'd buy it. Because it's like people want fresh stuff. They want that stuff. And it's so I'm saying
they want
that
stuff from gardens.
yeah, and so doing your own garden, you might think it's hard, but it's a lot easier than what you think. It's just time consuming, and you need to just keep up on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to pay for it in the prices.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what we do when we work. We're changing our time for money. I mean,
Yeah, what my wife would do is she'd come for half an hour at lunch and water it, and then just eat something really quick and then go back. Like, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I already
I'd watered the garden.
I watered the ones that were in the shade. She wouldn't water all of it. She'd wait till the afternoon to water it, but she'd clean it up. She'd see some weeds, clean it up, and that just maintained the garden so much. And
well, I was watching this reel of this family, and they bought a piece of land, which isn't always so easy, but they created a whole compound, and the whole family lived on that piece of property, and they had a garden. They had animals, were like chickens with eggs.
yeah, it could turn into a big business.
Yeah, I mean, you can. And I know one of my cousins have always had a dream of let's buy a compound and just put up some houses, and the whole family just live right there on that compound and do that. And all of us pitch in not just money, but pitch in our time of taking care of the animals, taking care of the garden. So that's a great idea. And
that's cool.
It might get to that point where we need to do stuff like that.
If you get along with your family members like that, I think that's a great idea. Some family members don't have the same opinions
outlook,
or the same outlook, but if you do get along with your family like that, that's a big.
It's a win.
That would be a big accomplishment and a big win for the whole side of your family. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So
that's a great idea, Mark.
You side note it because we're talking about the economy. We're talking about
You guys can call it the compound.
Yeah, middle class and all that. That's how we're bringing all this stuff up.
So yeah. Another executive order that Trump signed that I thought was pretty interesting was him ending. Pretty much, he's going to end what used to be affirmative action. It's now called DEI.
Yep. Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yep. And with that, he wants to establish 2 genders, which is pretty controversial topic. Some might agree with it, some might not agree with it. But that was an interesting executive order that he signed too. Yeah. So I don't know if we really want to touch on that, but it is something he's doing, and it's going to be interesting to see how he puts that into action too.
Yeah, and how many lives it's going to affect of other people.
Huge.
Yeah,
it's pretty big.
I'm already seeing that they sent a lot of transgender women who are men, biologically men, but they consider themselves women, transgender women. They're getting sent to jails with full men, like with men, instead of being with other women or other transgender women. Which, how many of those people are gonna get taken advantage of? If they look like women, and you haven't seen a woman in a while. I mean, whoever's coming your way, that's probably gonna look a little good, a lot better than your bunkie, your smelly ass bunkie. So that
a lot better than Charles.
A lot better than Charles hanging around.
On bunk C block 4.
Yeah, but that because I just don't like people getting taken advantage of, regardless of what you believe in, who you are, whatever. It's wrong to take advantage of
somebody. Yes,
and
it is.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna take advantage of those transgender
people,
women that are being moved to all male prisons. That's scary because, like I said, they could get taken advantage of, and that's wrong.
And I feel like this past administration laid down those those foundations for this
Yeah.
kind of to take effect, and they were pretty big on that.
Mm-hmm.
And just for somebody to come and just sign a pen and just take it away, I feel like it's hard adjustment to a lot of places.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's super hard, especially a lot of workplaces.
Yeah.
Trump said that he was stopping $101 million for DEI training. So that means a lot of places that were using that money to get training on that they're no longer going to get that money to train their employees or the people, working in this government agencies or in any corporation.
Yeah, I was reading that Target, Starbucks, Walmart, those are the biggest ones that I heard.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that are doing away with the D. You're
DEI.
talking DIE?
DEI.
DEI, yeah.
I want to say do it yourself. Do it
Some,
yourself.
I thought for some reason I understood DEA. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're not gonna chase.
No, I understood
But,
DEA
yeah.
too, but no, he said DEI.
So that's huge for these companies. That, I mean, even if they're getting funding from the federal government to do these trainings, or even if it's coming out of their pockets, for them to stop that is, I think it's going to be hard for a lot of employees.
To want to.
And at the first, when you get those notices that you have to do the training, some employees are probably like, "Oh man, I gotta go do this dumb training."
Yep.
But they get their food, they get all of this, and they're doing the training and they're having a good time. But now it's that people that were really motivated to do these trainings and they really wanted to learn about these trainings and really get trained on these topics. Now they don't have that. And I feel in a way that companies should still do it even if it's not provided by the federal government.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, that used to be called affirmative action.
Affirmative
right?
action.
Yeah.
And now that just, what my belief is like, let's say firefighters, male firefighters have a specific test they have to do.
Yeah.
The female firefighters have a less of a rigorous test that they have to do, which you could kind of be like, why? Like if me as a male firefighter, if I'm down, I need to be carried out, and she's not qualified to carry me, so I guess my ass is gonna burn because she can't carry me out. Like, it should be that. Like I'm understanding why they're doing it. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they do that, because it dilutes the product that you're trying to give out, as a case to like firefighters, police officers, and other stuff, because they have to meet a certain quota, male to women ratio, because they don't want to look unbiased. So I get that, because in reality, what the DEI has only affected, and I might get the majority, I might, you might not like this, but it's only affected white women. It hasn't affected any other race. It hasn't really affected anybody else, just white women. And you might not like that statistic, it might hurt, but that's fact.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I haven't read into that. That's one of the topics I haven't read a lot into it, but maybe we can come back to it at a later date.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
For sure. Let's do that.
We have more information on it.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong on my statistic. I could have got false information, but from what I've seen, it's only affected white women.
Yep. So, yeah, that's another one that was interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
How that's going to play out. And like Alan said, I do believe a lot of these corporations have the money to keep doing those trainings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
but are they going to now that it's not a priority?
probably
That's
not.
what we need to.
No, because the money they're wasting on that is
Government money.
well, they're it's not money wasted. I think it's money
Yeah.
invested.
Yeah.
And that's a tax write-off. Trainings are a tax
100%.
write-off for big
100%.
corporations.
Why do you think these corporations
Yeah.
never pay taxes?
Exactly.
Which is, I think, instead of what him establishing the ERS, he should tax corporations,
Yeah.
make them pay taxes.
Yep. But they won't because those are his buddies.
Yeah, oh yeah, because not just his buddies,
Jeff Bezos.
not just
Elon
his buddies.
Musk.
They're not just Republicans. They're not just
No.
buddies with Republicans.
no.
They're buddies with the whole Congress.
Yeah. The way I see the government and all of them is the way I see the WWE. They act all like they hate each other and they dislike each other.
John Cena.
Exactly. Like they don't like each other, but at the end of the day, they're best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Off camera, they're best friends.
Oh yeah.
That's why I always say you can't trust the government regardless of who's in office. Don't
Oh, yeah.
matter. They're not here for you. They're here for them. They're here to protect themselves and they're here to make sure that civilians can't sue the government.
Here for their own personal agendas.
Exactly.
Well, let's go to one of his cabinet nominees, RFK Jr. He Trump elected or is choosing him to be the health secretary of health. And
That fool looks like a junior, not a senior. I mean, he looks like a senior, not a junior. Okay. Inside joke.
this guy goes back and forth on vaccines.
You should have that. You know, yeah, that joke one.
He goes back and forth on vaccines like crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you saw his
And,
newest one, right?
So this guy's a lawyer, and he has sued major health corporations, and he gets a profit, 10% profit. So they were grilling him. They were asking him if he was going to stop doing that,
What do you mean?
and he said,
That's how he talks.
he said, "You want me to stop suing health corporations?" He pretty much said, "I'm not going to stop doing that."
Yeah.
And they were telling him, "No, we don't want you to stop. We want you to stop taking a profit from that."
Yeah.
And he pretty much said, "No, I'm not going to stop."
Yeah.
So everybody is just looking. All these Congress is just looking out for their pockets.
Yeah.
Is what I'm leading to.
You mean his cabinet picks?
All Congress
Yeah.
people are just looking out for their pockets.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, when they leave Congress, they'll go become board members on these huge corporations and get $1 million bonuses. They'll go get $5 million bonuses for just being on the board.
What would you do with $1 million?
Probably move to Thailand.
Ah. Yeah.
I mean, I would.
But
I need $1 million bonus.
See, for them, that's just one bonus.
Yeah. That's chump change.
Yeah.
That's chump change.
For us, that changed our whole lives.
Oh yeah.
That's El Domingo for them.
Yeah.
Not just our
Mi
lives.
domingo.
That would change our
Mi
whole
domingo,
whole
padrino.
family's lives.
Padrino, mi
¿Cómo estás,
domingo.
padrino?
¿Cómo estás?
For them, that's nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah. This man had the audacity to say that white people need more vaccines because they have a more weak immune system than African Americans.
Which I believe is a fact. If you
think
look
so?
it up,
Yeah.
if you look it up, I believe that is a fact.
That they need more vaccines than African Americans. He said African Americans. He didn't say any other culture. So that's just what I'm.
But
that's
you
what
know
I'm
he,
saying.
he puts us all in one category.
Yeah. So you
We're
think
all
that's
brown,
true?
guys.
But I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that is a fact.
Yeah.
I believe Caucasians have a lower immune system. I'm not sure why that is.
Elaborate.
I don't know.
They came from the mountain of
Let me do some more research.
Caucaspania.
Kakistan.
But yeah, that's what it's like. That's the shit that we need to hear. You know, that stuff. And yeah, and you know who is the head chair of like the school, like
Health Secretary of
Secretary of
Education.
Of education?
it's
Is that Marco Rubio?
Vince
No, he's
McMahon's
the Secretary of
ex-wife.
State.
Stop.
Yep.
Well, now I think he's choosing a new one, but
No, he's true.
hold on.
Oh, he's not. Yeah.
He's
Well,
not gonna-
He had put. I don't know what her first. She's a McMahon.
something McMahon.
Yeah.
Well, he actually even is considering taking down the Department of Education.
Defunding.
That would be that would be horrible. Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
if he
look.
is taking
told
So currently, the Secretary of Education is Dennis L. Carter,
Ooh.
but pending state confirmation of Linda McMahon.
Yep. And that's Vince McMahon's ex-wife or current wife. Don't know. Vince McMahon being the owner of what? WWE. And what is the
WWE
government like?
Corporation.
WWE. I don't miss.
So okay, so
Former wife.
Yeah.
still wife.
I mean, she's carrying the
Former
name
wife,
for,
yeah,
for a
she's-
reason.
Yeah. She still carries the name because there's something behind it.
It couldn't be Vince McMahon because he's fighting allegations right now.
I actually saw a documentary. I
Yeah.
think
He was a ruthless man.
what was it on Amazon or
might be
or-
Netflix.
or Netflix?
He was
One
a
of the
ruthless man.
Yeah.
So what? They're just gonna treat the Department of Education like the WWE.
Probably.
Probably. But check this out. Okay, so if you said he wants to abolish the Department of
Yeah.
Education,
That's one of his goals.
so is he going to abolish student loans as well, or what?
That's what I'm waiting for.
Because I'm waiting
No.
for that.
I mean, that'd be
They'll
great,
They'll
but
probably make you still pay somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Spread your cheeks, Alan.
I've-
Los míos no.
I've also
I'd be
heard
spreading
that-
them for 100,000 right there. That's how much I owe.
You
I-
put a price.
I've also heard
everybody's-
that he wants to use
Like 98,000.
Tax-
It's gone down. It's gone down since I've been paying it.
he wants to use taxpayer dollars to fund private schools and religion private schools.
I've worked at a religious school. I mean, they get the same education, but some of their classes are based on like Bible study
Mhm.
and knowing what's in the Bible. I mean, that I don't see that as a bad thing. You know why? I think I'm a Catholic. As a Catholic, why do we pledge allegiance to the flag? Shouldn't we just do a prayer?
We don't
In
we
the
don't pledge
morning?
allegiance anymore.
Oh, they do.
Do they?
They still pledge
In schools?
allegiance.
In schools?
At the public school that I work at,
They still do.
They still pledge. They still do that. They still do
Pledge
that.
allegiance to the flag for
the
which you
United
stand.
States of America, for which it stands,
one nation under God,
indivisible, for justice for all. I think
With
that's
no-
all.
For liberty,
with
and
liberty and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Liberty and justice for all. Yeah,
It's been 20 years.
yeah, it's been a while, but I hear, but
Isn't
I
that
hear
crazy?
it-
Yeah, that's
I-
engraved in
yeah.
your head, though.
That's
yeah.
nuts, yeah.
But I hear that. But how come as a Christian or Catholic nation, we don't start off with a prayer in the morning? You know, and I understand. Well, some people aren't Christian, some people are religious. Yeah, I get it. But I believe as a nation of Christians and Catholics,
Well, I
should
believe
start with a prayer.
I believe
But-
like on all our money it says
In God we trust.
in God we trust.
But have you seen what says under the pyramid? It
What
says
was that?
it
A la
says
chingada or what?
it's in Latin.
Yep.
I can't tell you word for word what it says, but the definition means
Mi culo peludo.
no, it means man, I'm gonna have to
Spit
come
it-
back to you.
spit it on me, spit it.
Yeah, no, it means that you don't believe in God. It's like it means. I'm sorry, man. I don't really remember, but it disqualifies.
Says
We'll look for it. We'll look for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Here it is.
it says has approved our undertakings a new order out of many.
Sounds like El Chupacabras. güey.
Yeah, we come back to that one, but I know it says.
God has favored our undertaking.
Sounds like
Yeah,
the Undertaker song.
yeah. It
Come
sounds
on,
like
WWE.
Yeah, it sounds like some crazy.
It
WWE
fucking
shit.
takes
We go
us back to WWE.
Yeah.
Pinche McMahon.
It's just a show. The United States is just a show,
Dun, 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 dun.
and we're
Oh,
on
no,
season 47 now.
Season 47, yep. Season 47, episode 1.
Yep,
It's episode 1 right now.
yep.
Episode 2 starts February. Starts on Saturday. Episode 2.
Not even because it just started January 20th. So we're still
Oh,
on
yeah.
season 1.
Oh, shit. We're season 1, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Canada, eh?
Hey, let's go.
Just like Entre Compas episode 1.
Yep, episode 1.
So what I was reading when I heard it a while ago, what it meant, and maybe this was back in the 90s. I don't know. Maybe this changed. It said a new order without God, is what I was my understanding. I don't know if they changed it. Maybe I read it wrong, but when I read it, that's what it meant. A new world order without God is what it said under the pyramid. So it's like it says in God we trust, and under the pyramid says a new world order without God.
Damn.
But like I said,
See,
maybe they have changed the way they make these dollar bills. But
maybe we should look into that.
yeah,
Look into that, and on our next episode, really dive into something like that.
We're getting into some conspiracy theories.
Yeah, conspiracy theories.
Which leads me to another executive order that he signed was he established DOGE, which is the Department of Government Efficiency. And who did he appoint under that Department of Government Efficiency? Elon Musk.
AKA Roman salute.
Elon Musk.
Doge to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but
It's gonna go to the moon.
Elon Musk, and
He's gonna go to Mars.
it used to be also Ramaswamy Vivek
Right.
Ramaswamy.
It used to be
but,
two
He
of
stepped
them
down, brother.
but he stepped down
to
because
be Ohio's governor or something.
Ohio's
like that.
governor.
So they say.
I honestly think he was kicked out for that tweet that he put out. You know, pretty much
Oh, that tweet.
that tweet that
The one you showed us earlier?
the one that I
Yeah.
showed you, him speaking about the H-1B visa. You know, him and Elon were high on that, and a lot of Republicans were like, "Nah, we don't want that because it's still people coming in from other countries."
It gets
to
abused a lot.
Yeah, it gets abused, and he set out a big tweet.
To take American jobs.
Yeah, which set off other people, and they probably didn't like what he was saying, you know, and he was probably asked to step down, or maybe he was kicked out.
You gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go. It's me, Donald Trump.
I told you I was your daddy, but now I'm gonna be your stepdaddy.
I guess Elon's better.
But Elon receiving a lot of power is kind of scary.
It is.
It's a lot of scary. I don't know if you guys have heard, but he's like all about AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When those Amazon workers went on strike, he sent out a bunch of robots, and a lot of them did not get their jobs back.
Kept the robots?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it was
Robots don't need sick days. They don't need vacation days. They don't need health insurance.
They just need one maintenance person to keep
Yep.
up.
You know
on
what it reminds me of? That have you guys seen that movie with Megan Fox? She looks good in that movie, but
Transformers.
no, it's she's
she's
an
a
AI
robot.
robot.
She's an AI
Yeah.
robot.
It reminds me of Will Smith.
iRobot.
iRobot.
Yeah, iRobot too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this is coming to. You know,
Damn.
with the 3 laws and all that shit.
Well, I'm gonna go watch that movie that's coming out this weekend. It's called Companion. Watch the trailer. So
Okay.
it's about a sex robot,
Chinga su madre.
Male or female?
female.
You don't hot?
I mean, she's all right.
Okay.
Most actresses aren't even hot nowadays. They're fucking mid.
So
Um,
this robot, he like puts her like at 40% health, mental capacity.
Oh, okay.
But she finds a way to give herself 100%
Jesus.
mental capacity. And so she outsmarts him and becomes like a crazy psycho killer robot,
Chinga su.
which is kind of like, because sex robots are on the rise right now. I don't know if you guys have known that.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian, she was the first celebrity to take pictures with her robot.
Yep.
You know,
She has a robot?
She has
I-
a robot.
She has a sex robot?
not a sex robot, but she has one of those Elon Musk.
I
One of
saw
those robots.
this reel where
Neta?
where this wife gifted her husband a sex robot.
I've seen that movie. It's called
And-
Accused.
And then he was like, "This is crazy."
I'm gonna Google this later.
Yeah, it's called
And then she
Accused
said,
or something.
"Just try it, just try it." So he tried it, and
Just
he
try
fell in love
it.
with, and he fell in love with. He ended up falling in love with the robot. And
Just
she
try
got
it. You'll
jealous.
like it.
She got jealous. The wife, the one that gifted him, because the robot was able to give the guy everything he wanted.
Damn.
Or
True story?
It's called
Think about it.
Accused. I think the show is called Accused.
think about it. They don't get headaches. They're not on their
True.
they're not on their period. They don't get stomach cramps.
They don't care about climaxing. They climax when you climax.
Their main purpose is to
Stop it.
ready to go.
their body.
Hey.
I am ready to go.
Fuck. Speaking of WWE, that sounds like Kane.
So, their main purpose is that.
To please
Yeah.
you.
This is my robot voice.
Damn, stop
I
it.
am ready to please you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, well, you can. I mean, you can even change their voice. You can change their dialect.
Shit.
You can change their accents. You can change, whatever you want. Their skin color. You can it's all crazy.
Like their actual face? You could change their
I
face?
don't know if you can go that far,
I
but
mean, it was.
Because I'm trying to get a J-Lo look-alike robot.
Pretty much, it was an android. It was an android. It was a human. It looked human, but it was a robot. So it wasn't like an actual metal robot.
right.
It looked like a real person.
And their skin is
Holy
this
fuck.
rubbery jello where it's like when you touch them, it feels like skin. It doesn't feel like you're touching a
What the
robot.
fuck have I been watching? I haven't been watching this.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah, those are on the rise right now too. So,
Damn.
yep. So that
I mean, you could even share the robot with your buddy.
Mm.
Hey guys, come over. We're gonna have a good time with Lola.
now you don't have to. Now you don't have to call the ones that say son 1500.
1500. Oh my god.
That's the robot.
That's the robot?
Yeah. So it's a highly attractive.
Bro, that robot is hot.
That's what I'm saying. So obviously it's a human, right?
Well,
But
yeah.
Yeah, but if they're able to make your dream counterpart, that's what it's coming
Jesus,
to.
bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she had her own charging station and everything.
Ah,
And bitch just
cabrón.
steps on a little fucking charging. Yeah.
100%.
Come on. It's
I-
on the rise.
I am ready to go.
Uh-huh.
I'm ready to do whatever you want.
Damn.
Yeah, it's called Accused.
Even the back looks good.
Called Accused. And the
Obviously, that's a real person,
Yeah.
but
episode 2.
No, but yeah, I've seen
I'm
some.
gonna
I've
watch
seen
it.
some real ones.
Season 2, episode 8.
I'm
it's
wondering
called
if they have
Robot
that
Eve.
showcase in Las Vegas where you could go. It's kind of like NAM was going on in L.A. That's a pretty big DJ show, but I wonder if they have something like that for
I'm sure they do.
like robots and
Maybe
CET or I don't know. So it's called something.
maybe
like
in a way that will end human trafficking, girls getting kidnapped, and
they'll traffic robots and shit. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that. What's that movie? It's that pinche movie. I just saw it too. Damn, I can't remember it. But it's about robots. Like robots are in the force too.
What was
So-
that one movie with that little girl, Megan? Remember that?
Oh,
You
yeah,
ever, that
Megan.
movie that was an AI robot.
that's
that was-
part 2 coming out. To
That's
that.
fucking crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what they want. That's what they want, and that's what's a possibility too.
And you know who's gonna be able to tap into all that stuff, right?
Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
The government.
Yep. Well, they're saying that there's people getting random calls from random numbers, and they don't say anything, right? But you're saying hello, and they're saying that's AI generating your voice.
Bro, shut the fuck. I've gotten so
I
many
just
fucking
I
calls,
just got one of those the other day.
Yeah.
and they just hang up.
They just hang up. But that's AI, and they're taking your voice. They're taking your voice. Hypothetically, they're taking your voice.
What?
So
the
you're just like,
fuck?
hello, who's there? So it's like, oh, okay. They probably need certain tones for you to hit, and then they got your voice.
Well, let's be real.
And then they hang up.
Let's
and
be
they hang
real.
up.
They tap into all of our
Oh, yeah.
all of our stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
I better stop.
there's
I'm
so
gonna
many
stop
things-
posting
there's-
nudes
there's
on
so
my
many things
iPhone.
that we post and we don't think about it. Like National Daughters Day.
Yep.
What do? You post your daughters.
Yep, your
and now
kids.
they know your kids. National Boyfriend Day. Now they know your boyfriend. National Side Bitch
for the week.
For the National Side Piece.
Your boyfriend for the
you
week.
post your. You know what I'm saying? So they know.
No, so on my way back from Mexico, from Vegas to Seattle, I sat next to this guy, really nice guy. And he was telling me that he works for a company that tracks all your information. And he's like, you ever heard the government tracks your information? It's true.
Tracking it.
He's like, I work for a company. He's like, to the point, I have an Apple Watch. He said, I know if you're wearing the Apple Watch or if you gave it to a friend to wear it. Just by my movements, just by the way I walk, just by the way yeah. And he was telling me this straight up. Like, he's like, yeah, like I all that information.
Bro, cuando me la jale, I'm taking off the Apple Watch.
Yeah. He's like, they know. And not only that, but they sell that. The way they make their money is they sell that information to companies. And they go and teach them what they can do with that information, what they're not supposed to do with that information.
If you're possibly a terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. There is a company.
It's an FBI tactic.
Well, it's just like right now when
that.
you fucking were talking about washers, my fucking watch.
Yep.
It listens.
It said, this is the information I have about washers.
Yep.
I was like, Siri, go to sleep.
Back when Obama or Clinton was president, I want to say back before cell phones were affordable, all right, they wanted to put chips in humans.
Well, that's what Elon Musk wants to do.
Yeah, they wanted to put chips in humans, but
I thought that was already possible.
The government, yeah, but this, I'm talking about like 2003, 2005.
Shit.
Okay, 2003, 2005.
20 years ago.
Yeah, about. They wanted to pass that law where we can put chips in humans. They didn't pass. 2007, you know what the most affordable thing was? A cell phone. So they've been having us chipped since cell phones were, since people had cell phones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I actually saw
Sprint and all that. You know,
hey, get your Sprint.
Hey,
I only got to be 18.
Yeah. We all have
$59.99.
We all have phones, and how do people get found? Oh, your ping.
Yep.
Your pin. You're pinging in this area. That's how we were able to capture you. Like we all know that. They're already starting to put advanced or enhanced IDs where it has a microchip in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, Apple
ID.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't even touch the bitch and
Yeah.
she's there.
Yeah. Like I'm talking about your driver's license.
Oh yeah.
They're
Oh, your passport has
your
a chip.
passports. Yeah. All that shit. Like we're bugged left and right. Not to mention, all the cameras they have. Like I'm sure they can tap into that camera without you even, you know what I mean, or any you know what I'm saying? Like any camera. You've seen the movie Eagle Eye.
Yep. With
Shia LaBeouf and this other
why
girl.
you think Shia LaBeouf? A lot of people think he's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's crazy, and he just knows the truth.
Yep.
That's crazy, guys.
Yeah.
That's nuts because some of the stuff that you guys are talking about is actually it's pretty freaky.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty freaky.
We did dig in a little bit into conspiracy. We sorry for that, but sometimes we just gotta.
Well,
you get in that rabbit hole and you just keep falling and falling.
It just strengthens my point of Elon Musk is getting a lot of power. A lot of power.
And he's a billionaire. Is he the richest man in the world?
I believe that's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. I think that's.
No, I thought it was Elon Musk.
It might even
He
be.
passed Jeff Bezos by 100 million.
Somebody from Saudi Arabia.
By 100 billion, I think.
But let's be honest, Elon Musk is a fucking nerd, and that guy he never had popularity.
Yep, Elon Musk.
He never had popularity
In the world?
So
In the world.
What is it? 400 billion? All right, net worth. 232 billion as of 2023.
How much?
232 billion?
For as of January 30th, 2025, it is estimated to be 430.
Yeah, it doubled.
430, it doubled. And that's crazy when you think about the average American's household income has decreased.
Bro, I haven't doubled my income in I think like 4 years. No, like 3 years.
That's crazy.
No, doubled my income. That's a lot. No. Maybe doubled my income since 2014. That's hella.
If you look at the top people, a lot of them have some sort of...
And a lot of them were sitting right next to...
Yep, right next to Trump.
Your leader.
Yep.
Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark suck a buck.
Mark Zuckerberg.
It's
Hey, la vieja de
crazy.
Jeff Bezos, I mean.
Pues sí, cuando tienes dinero. She's probably a robot.
No, his
Ha,
ex.
ha.
His ex.
I am Jeff Bezos'
Uh-huh.
wife.
Are you talking about his ex or his current one?
His
Or
One
both.
that
His
the one that
current
everybody was looking at when they were sitting there.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
his ex-
Zuckerberg was like,
His ex took a pretty big chunk of his net worth,
but still.
and he didn't even phase him.
Nah,
And
ese-
so did
llévate
Bill
todo,
Clinton's
hasta las
wife.
nalgas.
I mean, not Bill Clinton.
I saw
Bill Gates.
I saw Jeff Bezos and the fucking Logan brothers on a yacht
Yep.
I'll believe it.
on one of the reels. They were jumping off the yacht.
Yep.
Fucking huge ass fucking.
Believe
It was
it.
like a city in the sea.
I mean, these, what's crazy, like these young streamers, they're horrible
Influences.
influences on young kids. Like these guys they're trash. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like. There's not one influencer that's a positive role model for the young man. Not one. In my opinion, they're all mediocre. They can't do anything. And they all fucking marry OnlyFans models. And I think that's bad because then these young kids are gonna be like,
That's what they're expecting.
that's what they're expecting.
And then
That's
they
what I
get,
can pull. But-
Lupe from the
Yeah,
market.
and then they get exactly.
Wait,
Am I
I
down?
shouldn't use Lupe from the market. There is a market called Lupe's Market.
Shout out
That's
to
just
Lupe's
a,
Market.
shout out to Lupe's Market. I always go and get Red Bulls
I'm
there.
not downplaying on what they've accomplished. Those two guys, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, because they got money, but I don't think they're the best influences for these young men.
I feel like some of the best influencers are people that are teaching you things.
Yeah.
Such as I really like listening to this to these guys that put out videos. It's called Think Media. They're just teaching you how to use how to use a camera properly, how to take the good picture, how to they're providing you with knowledge for you to use so you can maybe make a business and make a hobby and turn it like you have a hobby and turn it into a business. Like channels that are just teaching you things. I think channels that are teaching you about money. This podcast informing you about.
I watched
different
this guy.
things,
One of
you
my
know?
friends put me on, and he goes to the wilderness for like 14 days with like a backpack, and he survives out there. And he teaches you how to start a fire. He teaches you how to like make food on like a rock and heat up the rock and use that as a stove. But let's be honest, sometimes that gets boring.
Yeah.
And like we're programmed to like get a hit of dopamine from these like influencers that release nonsense, and we're just programmed that way now.
Yeah.
It's like
Where-
how everybody watches Mr. Beast. Like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like
He came out with his own Beast games on
Beast games.
Amazon Prime.
And I feel like I watched a couple episodes because my kids, I mean they're
Yeah, I mean they're into,
Yeah.
that's
they're
what's
young
cool.
ladies. I mean they're I mean my oldest is almost 20, but she was watching it and she was like I was watching it, I was observing what was going on and I was like, man, these people are so hungry for this.
Yep.
They're so hungry
Where
for
they'll do some
for
crazy
these
stuff.
$1 million.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. For $1 million, I'd probably take my hand off the Tesla too. But it's just crazy how they're manipulated to think that this is the way to become maybe
Successful. Make
successful
money.
or wealthier. Oh, I was on Beast Games. Like, give me a job. Like that's what,
Everybody,
that's gonna be
And that almost gets you some
a
sort
skill.
of status.
Yeah.
Some sort of status. They use it as like status, like, oh, I was on Beast Games.
Yeah.
I'm an influencer.
Right.
Yeah, ever since I'll take it back to the ice bucket challenge. Ever since people started doing that,
Those challenges.
And nobody donated.
Yeah, I knew that people would do whatever the internet said. As soon as I saw people do, I didn't do it. I saw a various amount of people do that, and I'm like, really? Like the internet's gonna tell you what to do, and after that, it was a domino effect. It was one thing
I
after the
Challenge
actually
other.
did do.
challenge
I
after
actually
challenge
did do
after
the ice
challenge.
bucket challenge, but I didn't post it.
Yeah.
I did it for my girls.
Yeah.
Like, because they were younger and they were like, "Oh, Dad, do this ice bucket challenge," because that's what they would watch. but we kept it as a family video, you know, like a family home video. That's how we kept it. We didn't post it out there. I didn't post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you know, but I did, you know, see like I tag Pancho Villa and fucking Marco Antonio Solis. You're next.
Yeah.
Ice Packet Challenge.
Yeah.
But with that, I feel like nobody donated to it.
Which is
Only people that
which is sad because
a little bit more famous people.
that cause was a great cause.
Yeah.
Like it was for a great cause.
The ALS or something.
Yeah. And like you said, not a lot of people donated what they said
the
they were
people
going
that were doing
to.
that, it was, oh yeah, we're gonna donate.
Yeah.
A lot of them did not.
No, and that's how I knew. Ever since then, I knew that the
challenges.
I knew the internet ruled.
The spicy chip challenge.
All that shit. Like I'm like, man, y'all whack for that. Like I hate to use the term sheep, but in reality, that's how I felt. Like you guys get told what to do. Like that's fucking whack. Like be an individual, be your own self. Don't let the internet tell you what to do.
It's like also in that song from Drake, Kiki, do you love me?
Yeah.
No, even before that,
They're all doing it.
I fucking I can tell you because I did that one.
The Black Beatles song,
Oh yeah.
Black
yeah,
Beatles
yeah.
and
Everybody was standing
which is a
Yeah.
great song by the way. But
or what was it? The con los terroristas. That one.
Oh yeah.
Everybody would go crazy.
It wasn't a flash mob.
It was like they were still. And it was like, yeah, I remember that.
the Harlem Shake.
The Harlem
it was
Shake,
called the
yeah.
Harlem Shake, and that is not the Harlem Shake. When I
Probably
grew up,
nothing
the
to do with Harlem.
Shake, yeah, that has nothing to do with Harlem.
Yeah.
The Harlem Shake was a complete different dance back in 2002 when
The good times.
when FABLLOUS he made that one song.
Yep.
Think about it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
so
Y'all
yeah,
can't deny it.
I'm a fucking
That-
rider.
I love that. I played that song the other day.
That was my shit. I love Fabulous
love
back
that.
then. I was in like
I like the beat of that song.
7th grade when that shit came out.
I like it when it starts. It just makes the bass.
Yeah.
Mark, you remember that?
You know what? I was only 10 years old, so the only time I listened to that was when I was around Hector, and those were good memories.
Hell yeah.
Which leads me to who made a lot of these people famous, though. A lot of these artists. We want to go into that or
Kim
no?
K. Kim K.
Nope.
Back to what we're talking
Yeah,
about. We'll
let's go back to our
own
topics.
culture. Yeah, yeah.
We go. Like I said, this is our first episode, and we got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
With still kind of talking about Elon Musk a little bit. One of the executive orders that Trump signed is he wants to plant our flag on Mars with Elon's help.
You all seen that movie Attack on Mars? You remember that shit?
Blah 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 blah.
Which is crazy.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, Mars Attacks.
That movie's classic.
What
bro.
is the point of that?
They have those AI robots. Too.
Really? What's
Yeah.
the point of planting our flag on Mars? Like what for what?
Bro, I think it will catch fire if you plant it, and they'll be defacing the flag. That's an offense. That's
Ooh,
a federal
that's a
offense
federal
right
offense.
there.
Hey, put him in jail.
That's crazy.
him in jail.
Something else that Trump did was he froze funding government. He's freezing for 90 days funding on government grants, which he claims is not affecting Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid, which a lot of people believe that he wants to end those programs. But according to him, that's not affecting that. But I don't know. I don't personally know anyone that's on those programs. I can't really talk about those
Same.
programs right now.
Or food stamps, TANF, anything. Yeah. I don't know.
So going back to how he said he's gonna Medicaid or Social Security on there too.
Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
So going back to our first topic, which was immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading this article that if they deport all illegal immigrants in this country, Social Security will be no more, because immigrants contribute to that, but they can never claim that.
Yep.
And it's in the billions of dollars that they contribute each year.
Yep.
and they don't ever receive anything from it. So us trying to claim Social Security later once we retire, it will be non-existent. And I think with them deporting illegal immigrants, that Social Security will not exist. So don't count on it, people, because
Well, in reality, Social Security has been going back. They've been losing funding for years now.
yeah,
I was reading a long time ago, even before Trump, that Social Security was pretty much going to lose its funding by like 2030 or something like that.
yeah, and that's like in a couple years.
Yeah,
Not a couple years, maybe 5 years, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And there wasn't going to be enough money anymore. So now that he's taken office, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
yeah, that's going to be an interesting topic moving forward with these executive orders that he's doing. And I feel like a lot of these executive orders are the some of the important ones that we thought were good to communicate to everybody here that's listening. And yeah, I think with that last topic, I think we're moving here towards our end of our podcast. But if you guys have any final words, Mark and Hector, on these topics.
I kind of wanted to hit on what the president of Mexico had to say about these executive orders.
Yep.
She didn't seem too worried about what Donald Trump is doing. She said the sending troops to the border, he's already done that.
Yep.
The remain in Mexico policy, he had already done that. She said she was going to work with Trump to designate these cartels as foreign terrorists to decide which ones they should and which ones they shouldn't. Who knows if he's going to take her up on the offer to help. She said her and a lot of the world and a lot of other leaders have come out and said that they're not going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. She said that's not going to happen. She said Mexico owns a larger part of the Gulf of Mexico than the U.S. does.
Makes sense.
And then she was going to also help them to choose which gangs are foreign networks and which ones are not. So I don't know. He says he has a strong, how would you say it? Like a strong presence in other nations. But I don't know how many nations are actually taking him serious and how many are not.
I've seen a lot of nations actually protest against him. So it's, I don't know. Like,
Did you guys see the guy from Greenland? He's like, well, Mr. President,
he wants to take back. He wants to take back the Panama Canal. He said they're not using it how they were supposed to, and he also wants to do something with Greenland. I don't know, take them as a state.
Yeah,
or
take them as a state or something like that. Add them to the United States, and then one of the what is it? Danish.
Owned by the Danish.
Yeah, Danish. I don't know if he's a congressman or just somebody political importance in Greenland. He said, "Fuck off, Donald Trump." That's his exact words.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
it's crazy.
Because they already sold him some that from Greenland. There's islands. Is it the Virgin Islands? I think.
No, that's
the
lower.
Virgin Islands.
But there are some islands.
There's some islands that United States
Washington,
bought
yeah.
from Greenland, and they already have a treaty signed. So if he's doing that, he's again breaking another treaty or breaking another thing that they have already set in place. Like
Yeah.
he's just unraveling a lot of things that have been put in place, which is fucking crazy.
He should just
I
leave
think-
the first lady alone.
I think he wants to.
She
I
don't
think-
even want to be with him.
I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
he wants to. I think he's over promising and he's gonna under deliver, which, to be honest, a lot of politicians do. But
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just what he did in his first
That's what he did.
term.
This is
so,
exactly the same thing he did last time.
yeah.
This is other than him saying drain the swamp. This is the same thing he did last time.
yep,
This is exactly the same thing. He deported.
But now he has.
yeah, that is the
House of
difference.
Republicans.
That is the difference. Now he has Congress,
yeah, the Congress,
which is he does have a larger Republicans in Senate and in the House of Representatives. Whereas last time he did not.
So we'll see how that plays out. Like I said,
And low key,
pretty much episode 1, right?
Low key, I blame the Biden administration to a certain degree because honestly, Joe Biden's gonna go down as one of the worst presidents in the U.S. history.
Yep.
And that caused a lot of people to turn swing states and a lot of seats in the Congress to Republicans.
And that's why a lot of voters turned out and voted
for Trump.
Yep.
red.
Yep.
Unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Maybe some of them didn't even vote for Trump. Just they voted for the party, which Trump was for the Republican Party. Yeah.
He was the guy. So we'll see. This is just the start. And, I knew he was going to come out swinging.
Yeah. I knew as soon as he got elected, he was mass deportation. I called it. I let my family know, like, this is what's going to happen.
And the funny thing is he's targeting a lot of, I think it's called sanctuary cities.
Yeah, on purpose.
Which were the ones that
Or sanctuary states?
Yeah, sanctuary states, the ones that voted against him.
Yep.
So like Los Angeles, New York,
Chicago.
Yep, those cities voted against him, and
Seattle.
He even said in one of his interviews that he's going after them.
And Seattle has a lot of immigrants, bro. I was reading that Seattle has a lot. I mean, it's up there. Yeah. It's pretty high immigrant from all over the world. All over the world.
In Seattle, there's a lot of diversity, a lot of Latinos, a lot of Asians, a lot of different
Middle Eastern.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. We'll stay up to date on information that's going on, and we'll let everybody know. If you guys enjoyed, tune back in.
Also, we would like Mark said, tune back in, but we would also like some feedback. I feel
Definitely.
like that helps us.
Whether that's good or bad.
Yeah, whether it's good or bad. This is our first episode, and I feel like we should take feedback. On all the topics we spoke about. Topics.
Yep.
And hopefully, we can get to a time where we go more lighthearted on things. But right now, with everything going on, we really want to touch base on all this stuff. We really want to speak about this and get information out there.
Yeah, get correct information out there, and
also inform
and
yourselves.
Keep people informed.
Inform yourselves.
Do your own research.
Yep.
Please do your own research.
And remember, if you get detained, don't answer any questions. Nope. Just ask for your lawyer.
Yep. I would just, even if you don't have a lawyer,
please,
just say ask for.
Look at
lawyer.
The warrant. There's a huge difference in what a warrant really looks like. If it's not signed by a federal judge, then it's not.
It's not a valid.
It's not
warrant.
a valid warrant. And make them come back with a valid warrant.
Yeah,
if they're at your house and you tell them no, you come back with a real warrant.
Tráeme el de verdad, güey. Si no te abro la puerta. Okay, so thank you for joining us, guys.
EC Podcast
signing out. This is
EC Podcast.
This is us.
This is us signing out. This is DJ Alan signing out.
This is Heck signing out.
And Mark.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.